Initializing can take up to 2 minutes.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are joined with Mr. Jordan. What's up, Jordan?
What's going on, Shane, man? How's it going? Oh,
Pretty
thank you
good.
for the applause. Thank you.
Hey, my crowd here is very generous. So, you recently got back from CEDIA, which was in Denver,
Denver,
Colorado.
Colorado. Yes, sir.
Where
Yep.
is that in relation to you?
Oh, man. So I'm in Houston, Texas. So that's quite a ways. I actually drove to Colorado, not Denver, but Durango some years ago. And it took, man, I think it was like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours or something like that. So it's pretty
Yeah.
far, but it's only like a 2 hour, it's actually a really short flight. It's only like
Oh,
2 hours. And then on the
okay.
way back, it was only like an hour and 45 minutes or 50 minutes or something like that. So
Oh, not bad then.
yeah,
So, why did you not drive? Do you not like to drive long distances?
I do not want to drive long distances. And seeing as I just had to spend $700 to fix my car, I'm not
Hmm.
driving that sucker. Yeah, I wouldn't risk that. But yeah, it's probably cheaper, and then like it would take a just easier, you know, having to drive and stop, fill up gas, find a place to sleep for a little while. Like, I mean, I could probably drive there within a day and make it without sleeping, but I don't really like driving long distances at night when it's
Mm.
dark. So
So I guess the excitement you wanted to get to Cydia as soon as possible because there are a slew of new products that are coming out on the horizon, and you got to see them and put your grubby little hands on them.
ASAP, that's right.
What was your most favorite thing that you saw there that you have not done a video yet on your channel?
That I have not done a video yet, that would probably be L Acoustics. So I actually got to start working editing that probably tonight. So L Acoustics, they reached out to me and asked me if I would come shoot a video. So I was like, yeah, I'd heard about them before a couple of times, but I didn't really know anything about them. They showed some couple little outdoor speakers, but then they had like a little booth, and we went inside there, and their speakers aren't big, or very big at all. You'll see them in the video, but for the stuff that I haven't or videos that I haven't made yet, that's probably the best one. That room sounded really, really good. They showed a couple of demos. They did, the Top Gun Maverick, and then they did a concert, and then they also did let's see, what was the other one? Oh, The Greatest Showman. That
Hmm.
gave me goosebumps. The opera scene where she's singing.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps. It, like, actually gave me goosebumps. I was like, man, I got to go back and watch this now. But yeah, L Acoustics is pretty legit. They've got some
These,
interesting
okay.
speakers.
These look like some concert. Or
Yeah, they didn't have those, so I don't know. Let me see. Loudspeaker. I'm trying to see. They're actually, so let's see, subwoofers, X series. It may have been.
these guys?
No, they were line source because I remember him saying.
Okay, these
Actually,
guys?
yeah. Let me go to this video real quick. Let me find it on my computer because they actually said they're the first company to do line source. I don't know if that's accurate, but
Really?
that's what they said. So let me find this footage here.
What's up, Mike? Who else is here? Did I see Craig here?
Okay, so they have the Soka in wall,
Is that a Star Wars speaker?
a Soka speaker. Then they had an SB10R. So let me scrub through this. Let me find actual
So Scott Lee saw you at the SR10 room.
Scott Lee SR10. Oh yeah, SR10. That was the Storm Audio Row One. Um, who else was there? Storm Audio. Oh yeah, Anthony Gramati was there. Matt Trankline was there, and then they had their. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank now. The screens. Seymour
Seymour.
screens. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Scott?
Scott Lee,
Scott Lee.
representing the Asians. I'm assuming you're
Nice.
Asian.
So I'm trying to find. Okay,
Are
here's.
you gonna get some of these in for a review?
I mean, I guess I could reach out to them and ask them. I didn't really have time. So these are. Let me find this.
I mean, they look big.
So they had some big ones, but I think the ones they had in the booth, they were like on wall. They weren't that big.
Maybe the X series point source. These are like
Yeah, I
these
think those are
commercial
probably
speakers.
more.
So commercial.
So the
S.
X8, they probably had some of those in there. Let me go in here. They had like a little demo inside. And then they had a humongous barcode in there. Those have you seen those in person, man? The lenses on those things are like
Yeah.
just the lens is like super huge.
Yeah, you buy them. Like you pick them when you purchase it. Like you can pick whatever lens you want
Really
for your particular room, like a 16 by
interesting.
9 or cinema scope.
Okay.
So you don't need an anamorphic lens. It's like native, ultra wide.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so I see the speakers they had in there. So some of them are. So if you scroll back down, it looks like, and I can't tell if this is one, but it has like a box, and then on the top it has a like a long kind of skinny.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw it. Here, it was here. There it is. S
That one, yeah.
series.
So they had those in there. They sounded really good. Ahsoka.
Soka Inwall. Civ. Ooh, look at that.
137 dB, man. That's
Wow.
pretty stinking loud.
Yeah. That's for like some big rooms.
Yeah, and it
Are
looks
these
like a.
big? They look like DJ type speakers.
So let me see if I can.
Integrate discreetly.
How do I share?
Are these like for normal people?
What is that? I didn't see those there.
Okay.
Ahsoka.
Max 133 dB, 60 hertz at 20K. How much do they weigh? 20 pounds? Oh, that's not bad. They can't be that expensive. How much do you think they are?
Did they say price? I don't know if they told us price. I'm thinking
$5,000 a pair. $5,000 a
maybe
piece.
maybe even cheaper. I don't know. I'll have to ask them.
Get some in.
Yeah, I have to ask them if they have any review units. But they sounded really good. Like that room was rocking.
Yeah.
Plenty of bass, tight, articulate bass, especially on the Top Gun Maverick one. That one was thumping. You guys hear from Waveform Tech?
That's the waveform for Trinov. Did you said you heard that, right?
Man, so I missed it for the second time in a row. So I hadn't. So this is what's crazy about that Trinov room. I had an appointment. So I think they sent out an email blast to sign up for like a press thing or whatever. So I signed up for it, and then I got there. I got there late because something happened. I forgot what happened. Oh, I think I had got there late because of something else that happened. One of the other things I was shooting, but we got there late, and I was like, "Hey, I'm here for an appointment." And they were like, "Oh, were you trying to shoot inside? Inside the booth?" I was like, "Yeah." I said I wanted to try to get some footage and check it out, and have my camera guy check it out. And they're like, "Oh, well, sorry, we like double and triple booked." I'm like, okay. I was like, "So what do I do?" And then I talked to Ryan. Ryan was like, "Well," he's like, "This is our last show, so if you come back early tomorrow morning, there shouldn't be that much of a line. So, try to come back here early, and we could probably get you in. But later on, it's probably going to be like busy because I think my appointment was like late in the afternoon, like at 3:00, 2:30 or 3 or something like that." But the next day, we ended up missing our train because we didn't know on the day before. We tried to, so we rented a car and we went to park like close by the convention center. Dude, it was like $50
The
to
park?
get for like 6 hours. Super, super expensive. So we were like, yeah, we're not doing that tomorrow. So somebody told us that we could park at the train station for free, and then it's like $6 to ride the train to the convention center. Well, we did that, and we missed the train that we were supposed to get on. So we had to ride the bus, which you can use the ticket for both. And we ended up getting there late. And I actually had an appointment at 9 a.m. anyway. And that was with Anthony Gramani in that room,
Yeah.
SR10 or whatever. So I was late to that. And then I was like, man. So I was so busy that day, I didn't even get a chance to go back there. But that was the room I think everyone was talking about there. Even I actually saw the Perlisten guys there on Friday. I saw Eric walking around. I was like, hey, man, you guys got a way to check out the booths and stuff? Because their VIP event was not actually on the floor. It was across the street.
Hmm.
And it didn't start until like 5 p.m. So he was like, yeah, we're here. We're going to check out the Trinov room. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I missed that for the second year in a row. Last year, the line was so ridiculously long. I was like, I'm not standing in line for an hour to hear this room. There's no way.
So is this a thing like normal people can go to, or is it just like press people?
So CEDIA is basically dealer driven. So it's like pretty much for dealers. So dealers, a company show up like Samsung, Sony, LG, and they have, all their existing products, but they'll have new products, and then dealers can come there, check it out. They have like classes they can get trained on, and then they can decide, oh yeah, you know what, I want to carry this, but they do allow press in there, but you have to pay. So it's not really open to the public. You kind of either have to know somebody, or if you're exhibitor, you can be there. I think you still have to pay. But like some of the companies, they'll say, hey, will you come shoot some stuff for us? We'll get you a pass in for free. You don't have to pay. So,
Wow. So that whole line was all dealers and industry people?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it probably was. A lot of them were dealers, and then there was a lot of content creators there too. I saw Don Dunn, the man himself, for
Who's
like
that?
5 seconds.
Who's that?
Oh, my bad. We don't talk about him here on the channel. But yeah, I saw him walking with somebody, and I was like, Don, and he was like, hey man, he's like, I'm gonna get with you because I got. He was going somewhere, so I literally only saw him for like 5 seconds. But yeah, there was a bunch of it's mainly dealers. I would say probably like 75% dealers, and then installers maybe 20% or something. And then everyone else is press, media. Scott Lee says the
Well,
Trinop room
listen.
was the best demo I've heard. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm
Scott Lee was in there.
I'm mad that
How'd he get in there?
I don't know. Is he a dealer or did he? So I think
Scott, why don't you come on? Why don't you get your camera ready and come on? You tell us your experience.
Can you describe, very cool, Scott, can you describe the difference versus Gramani? So I guess he was at the Gramani's room too. That room sounded good too.
Yeah. Did he use they use Storm, right?
Yeah, they used the Storm processor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't even know that Gramani had his own speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that room sounded pretty good.
Were they nice? I mean, I know you saw that. I saw the video.
Yeah. They were nice. They have a nice heft to it, but they're not heavy, for their size. They're shallow, but I think he said they reach 138 dB.
They have a nice heft, but they're not heavy.
Nice.
Pretty good.
So like for their like the one that I held, which was probably about like.
I had a pretty tasty slice of pizza this afternoon, but it didn't really taste that good though.
I'm not making much sense right now. Like they're not for that speaker that I held for its size. It has, you would think it looks like lighter, but it has a nice weight to it, but it's not heavy. I mean that big one that he picked up, and he was able to pick it up, and so I didn't pick
Yes.
that one up, but
He's a very svelte person.
Trinov said they will most likely use Perlisten for that same demo. Yeah, I think they've worked with them. No,
I wonder how they'll do that though. Like,
yeah, because they work
does
with
Trinov
Storm.
have on-wall subs? Like, you need elevated subs for it to work proper.
Yeah, which is so I'm kind of leery on, not leery, but like my only issue with that is, okay, you release that for people, but how many people, like in order for that to work, that specific configuration, how many people are actually going to be able to put that in their theaters, I feel like it's going to be like a
Well,
really, really small.
Well, they're going to be I'm going to have them on the channel next week.
Okay.
And I guess the thing is, you can have as little as 4 subs. You could have 2 up front, 2 in the back.
Okay.
So minimum 4. Although, I hear you can do maybe 2. It'll work a little bit, but not good. But John was telling me that you gotta have at least 2 front, 2 in the back, but you're not gonna get like vertical steering, like the overhead steering. And 4 subs are only gonna be good for rooms 8 to 9 feet.
Okay. So that's
Since
my
you don't
room.
need, since you don't need that much vertical activity, I guess. But obviously, you would need like 8, I guess, for
Yeah.
maximum potential, maximum excitement. And then if you really want to max it out, 24 subs.
That's insane,
Dude,
dude.
how did
24
they even?
subs.
How did they put? I got to ask him that. Like, how did they put 24 subs in there if you have an altitude 32? Because if each channel has to have its own dedicated, or each sub has to have his own dedicated channel,
Yeah,
that
that's
only
a good
leaves a few
question.
channels. Yeah.
I don't
So I
know.
don't know what they're.
I'm sure they're doing something,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's. I
That
wish I
just
would.
seems overkill. I wish you would have heard it.
I
Heard it.
know. I
I
mean, like
don't.
I said, I was there for my appointment. I was a little bit late, and I wasn't that. I mean, it was maybe like 15, 20 minutes late. But apparently, they said that they double and triple booked anyway. So I
Yeah.
probably was behind an hour because they overbooked.
I've only spoken to two people that have heard it, like Matt and Michael, and they were like, "Yeah, it was good." I was like, "Hold on, just good?" They're like, "Yeah." They're both like, "We've heard better." I was like, "What?" I was like,
That's
"Really?"
funny.
I was
I
like, "This is
mean,
supposed to be some mind blowing tech." So,
I'll
yeah.
say
So
the
I don't
art
know, man.
sounds good. Like art sounds really good. They did an A/B comparison, like where they turned it off, and then so they had it on when the demo started, and then they turned it off to manual calibration, and then they turn it back on, and you can really hear the difference then. So it's I'm hoping. So I have the RMC one. I need to set that up hopefully this weekend, and it has Dirac on it. So I'm hoping at some point they'll start updating, the high end processors with that have Dirac with that.
No comparison, in my opinion. The Grimani was not as organized, but the sound was good. The Trinov room was just clean and quiet. According to the 2 demos, I would go with Trinov.
Interesting.
Well, it seems like you're useless to today's stream here, Jordan.
I am. Let me go ahead and log off.
Yeah, they would use the Altitude 48.
There's a 48 version.
Yeah, there's a little extension box you can get for it.
Man, my goodness, that's insane, dude.
So that would
48.
leave how many? So they had 24 subs? Okay, so they had 24 channels. All right. Yeah. It's not hard to think of when you think about it. It's like 24 subs, 24 channels. That room is probably big, but not like that big though.
Nah, I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't look that big. And I think most of those rooms are probably around the same size.
Yeah.
It may have been one of the bigger ones, but it wasn't. It wasn't like overly large. But again, I didn't go
Right.
inside. I'm just looking at it from outside. Appreciate you, Scott Lee.
One of these days I'll be able to max out my Trinov.
What are you
I like
even? Are you doing
like
16? Because you've got
20.
the back.
I got the 24.
But I mean, how many channels are you running simultaneously? Because I know you got that center back, right?
I got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, sometimes 19. So sometimes 19.
So
18. Dude, and my room is fucking small.
I know your room is smaller than my room. So you got six heights. Are you doing 6 heights?
No, 3 fronts, 3
Oh, you got
backs,
wides.
2 wides, yeah.
You got 2
sides.
wides, and then you got the surround, or what is it called? Center
Center
back.
surround.
Center surround.
Yeah.
How is that? Is there a lot of content back there?
I mean, yeah, of course. Every time you hear flyover, I mean, does it really fly over 2 speakers behind you? No, it goes directly behind you. And it places it directly behind you.
Nice.
Not in every single movie, but
Yeah.
if it's a real Atmos mix, it'll go directly behind you. So it's really cool. So you'll sit there, it'll be like, behind your head. You're like, oh. And then other times it's like in the back corner, back left corner, or back right corner. Sometimes just move skip right across behind your back. It's like, oh, dude, that wouldn't sound the same if you just had two back speakers. People don't really talk about that. I don't know why. I made a whole video about it. People are like, I want wide channels, or I want to know my degrees of my height channels. What degrees? 30 degrees or 45?
Right.
Like, dude, it's like common sense. Give it some equal distance. That don't put it so close to your side channels or your front channels. Like, fucking, like, give some equal spacing. It's fucking common sense, guys. Center surround.
Center
With the center
surround.
surround.
So I'm excited because I have the RMC one, so I'll be able to max out my speaker so I'll be able to use the 15 channels, because right now I'm only doing a 7.2.4, so I'll be able to do a 7.2.6. So I have 6 in-ceiling speakers, and then I don't know if that one would that allow you to do a center back or center surround?
I don't think I think the only center. I don't think anything. I don't think maybe the storm. I mean, maybe somebody else in the chat would know, but I think only
Probably. That sounds.
Trinov, maybe the storm. I don't think I've seen anything else. The only other oddball speaker I've seen is maybe like Denon, Marantz, maybe with the center height channel. I think I think they have that, but I don't think anybody. I mean, center surround used to be a thing with DTS ES 6.1 back in the day, so I would think it would have stuck around with most other brands or companies.
Well, they got to do something, because whenever Emotiva releases that update to add external channels, like
Dude, I'm
they,
waiting for
they
that.
got to do something.
It's been like 5 years now
I know.
for that. It was a decent size. It was bigger. The bigger of them, bigger than Garoni and Alcons. Oh, did you hear Alcons?
I did not.
Well,
not hear
Jordan, what did you see at CEDIA? What else did you see?
Apparently not the popular ones. I didn't get to see Pro Audio. I didn't get to see. Man, I was running around. So I was doing stuff for my channel, and then I was doing stuff for projectorscreen.com, their channel, and then in between there, I was like trying to go and do other stuff. So it's funny on Thursday when it actually started. So there was a company, and I can say the company, but there was a company that got us in with their company, and prior to CEDIA, they were like, hey, let me know the names of the people that you have with me. I was like, all right, I have me and my camera guy. So we get there on Thursday, and I had an appointment, I think at like 9:30, and it opened at, started at 9. So we get in there, and the line for registration, like even if you've already registered to get your badge, was like insanely long. It was like at least an hour wait. And I'm like, oh goodness, I hope I don't have to stand in that line. But then they had the exhibitor line, there was like nobody there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go over there since, I'm with an exhibitor. So I go up there, and the lady's like, oh, who you with? And so I'm like, oh, I'm with this company. And so she starts looking at my name, and she's like, I don't see you in here. And I'm like, and she's like, can you give me your full name? So I give her my full name. She's like, nope. She's like, can you give me your email address that you use? So I give her email address. She's like, nope. So I'm like, all right. So I have to make a phone call. And they're like, all right, we're going to send somebody down there to go and, get you checked in. So that takes like 20 minutes, because the guy's looking for me. I'm looking for him. I don't know where we're at. Eventually I get his phone number. So we go back over to the desk, and they're like, hey, yeah, this guy's already signed in. She's like, we can't find him. She's like, we can sign him up now, but you'll have to pay. And he's like, no, we've already paid for the registration. Like, we're not doing that. So as I'm standing there, another guy walks up who actually works for that company. He's like, yeah, I'm here, to check in. She's like, you're not in here. I don't see your name. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I work for the company. And she's like, do you have a proof of, anything that proves that you work for the company? And he's like, you mean other than the shirt, the company shirt that I'm wearing? Like, he was getting mad. And so his name wasn't in there, so they had to add him in. And then so she's like, all right, well, let me add you in here, and I'll put you as a guest under that company. So they give me, the pass or whatever. And with the guests, so with an exhibitor pass, you can get in before it actually starts. So you can get there like 8 o'clock and go in early, and you don't have to wait. So then my buddy, my camera guy, goes up there. She scans his name. She's like, "Oh, you're already in here." I'm like, "What?" Like, he's working for me. Like, he's working with me. How is he in there and I'm not in? So it was just a long process, and so I ended up wasting a bunch of time with that. So there was a bunch of stuff that I already had started late. I didn't get to see. So then I was like, I had to try and catch up with all the stuff that I had, to appointments that I had. But I did get to see Perlisten, which that was VIP, so there wasn't a whole lot of people that got to see. That was probably the coolest thing that I saw, and obviously I posted a video about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I saw Just Video Walls. Have you heard about them?
No.
So I have a video. I think it's gonna post sometime this week.
Just Video Walls.
Yeah, it's called Just Video Walls. That's all that they do. They had this massive, man. That thing must have been like 400 inches, maybe bigger. Just huge, and it's mini LED. Absolutely incredible, man. So it's scalable. You can basically, there's no limit. You can make the wall as big as you want. Absolutely, yeah. So that's it right there. Huge, man, and just clear. You can't see any pixels unless you get like right up on it.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you can be watching, like, let's say you have like a 500-inch screen. You can have however many screens on the bottom, 4 or 5, and you can be watching football, baseball, basketball, and then you still have like the main screen. You can be watching something else. It's incredible, man.
Your price on that?
So that size that they had at the, I'm trying to remember. I have it in the video. He said it. It was like 300,000 or something like that.
Yowza. Only
Oh,
22 cents per hour to run. Oh, it's not bad.
but so because I asked him, I was like, "Is there like a size limit?" He's like, "Ah, it's scalable and it's pretty incredible."
Yeah, I would love to have like a ceiling to floor screen, IMAX
Yeah.
style at the house.
That'd be awesome.
I say 10 years, everybody's gonna have one of these. 10 years.
You think 10 years?
Yeah,
Man,
for
I don't
sure.
know, man.
For sure, if not sooner. I mean, we got 100-inch high senses, right? You saw that.
Yeah. I'll be, that video is gonna post tomorrow. It's a real short video. They weren't doing they weren't really like showing. It was kind of weird. Like last year at CES at the beginning of this year, they had a bunch of TVs, and I got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes with each rep. But this one, they were just kind of focusing just on the Hisense, that 100 inch, but they weren't really talking about it a whole lot. Like the video was only like 2 minutes. They weren't showing any content. It was just like their standard stock Hisense footage. They weren't showing any like actual movies or TV content. So there wasn't really a whole lot to like say or shoot about it, but it still looked amazing.
So
First
this is
100-inch mini LED.
Yeah, crazy. So it's only gonna be, not only, but I mean, it's pretty affordable.
10 grand.
Considering, $10,000. I'm sure this is Hisense. It'll probably be like $8,000 to $5,000, like by football time, Super Bowl time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how when the price comes down. But yeah, it looked great, super bright. I don't know if it was calibrated or not, or if they just, like I said, they weren't showing. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm like, how come they're not showing any like content on here? Like, put a Blu-ray movie on this.
Yeah, it's awesome. 100 inches, IMAX enhanced, Dolby Vision, quantum dot mini LED backlight, 144 hertz for the gamers. Dolby Vision gaming. Listen, I would have told Sony to send me 100-inch this year, but I just couldn't fit it up my stairs. I had to settle for the 85-inch. But this looks like a winner, dude. Are you not on their list of reviewers? You're on the press list, right?
So I know some people from Hisense that I worked with last year, and then I should be getting some stuff in for projectorscreen.com, but that's just projectors. I don't know about TVs.
Well,
I would like to get one.
This is a different ball game right here, boy. You need to
Yeah.
get this. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have nowhere to put that sucker, man.
You'll find a way.
I'll take up like my TV in my living room is a
Well,
55-inch.
you
That's
got a projector, right?
yeah,
You'd have to get rid of your projector. Put that in. How big is your projector screen?
100.
There you go. This is definitely be better, whatever, better than
I
whatever
mean,
screen
yeah,
you
it
got.
would be.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like I got the 85 inch and my CinemaScope screen is 120, but if it was 16 by 9, it would only be 98 inches.
Interesting.
And you can buy 98-inch TVs for like 5 grand now from like TCL. So that's like it's already there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Only $10,000, which will definitely be cheaper. So, I mean, that's gonna be pretty sick.
Yep. First
That's gonna be
100-inch
sick.
mini LED.
I shall have one in my future. 2 years, I'll have one for sure, 100%.
You gonna replace your projector?
No,
I mean, your
because
projector's
I'm
screen?
because I'll have a bigger place, I'll have a bigger screen. So, but for the living room, the funny thing is like that will be like in the living room, and this will become like that'll be like the norm. Like 100-inch TVs, I think everybody's gonna have 100-inch TVs.
It'd be
Like
nice.
3 years, I'm gonna say 3 years. Everybody's gonna have 100-inch TVs because you can get a 98-inch for 5 grand now. I mean, a 98-inch in 3 years is gonna be like $3,000.
That would be crazy. That'd be awesome if it's more accessible for people. But
And this is from TCL, who isn't exactly known for their highest quality image. What else you got here?
somebody said, what about the Perlisten sub that goes with the S7L? What's the difference? So I believe the only difference is that it's basically the D215, but it's just in carbon fiber.
Yeah,
So not much difference. It's just
just carbon fiber instead of
carbon
the.
fiber.
What is it normally? It's not the checkerboard, right?
I don't
I
know what
forgot
it
what it
is.
looks.
No,
I
I
forgot what
forget
it
what
looks
it
like.
is.
Forgot what it looks like.
I mean, I have it right here.
You have the D215 there?
I wish. I don't have it with me. I have the video.
No, you don't. It's so heavy. It's ridiculous heavy.
What is it, like 300 pounds?
It's like 216 or something like that.
Man, how are you supposed to move that sucker around, man?
I don't know how I got
You
up the
have
stairs
one, right?
myself. Yeah, I just like rolled it up my stairs. I was like, yeah, a year younger, so I was a bit stronger last year. I don't know how I would do that now.
You use second or third floor?
Second.
Man, that's rough.
And then at the top, there's a little corner you have to turn. So it's like,
Corners are not good.
oh, it's not good. What was the
But
question? Oh, so it's just the carbon fiber, but it's just a D215.
it's
with
same,
carbon
same.
fiber.
Yeah, D215.
Did they give you, I know you can't talk about price, but give us the deets on the new 4 Perlisten subs.
Yeah, so they did tell us pricing, but I'm not allowed to disclose it yet. However, so they didn't really give a whole bunch of specs. They didn't talk about how low it goes. They didn't talk about frequency. They didn't talk about the only thing that they told us was the size. So it was the 10-inch, 12-inch, 15, and 8-inch, and I believe that they're sealed.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ported.
Yeah.
They said that they're prototypes, so they didn't even have them hooked up. They just said that they were there basically to kind of get a feel from the public, and from everything that I saw and heard, like everyone's like super super excited about them. So they're not in production at all. They're just prototypes. I don't know when. I'm assuming that's probably not going to be till next year, or if they do start production this year, you probably won't be able to get it until next year because we're in September. You only got a few more months.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that, man, because and they did say that I can't say pricing, but I would say that they're more affordable than their other offerings, especially the 10-inch. The 10-inch is going to get a lot of people into Perlisten subs.
Would you say in line with Rendell, price wise?
So what is Arendo's cheapest 1723 sub price? Let's see.
I mean, you do have them.
I don't have any of the subs. I have the speakers. I think that I'm trying to let me look at their subs and see what their lowest price is on that. So, okay, 1723 series. subwoofers.
I looked at it, Mike, the RP22 spec sheet. I did see like the tonal balance and all that stuff. So I did see that, yes. I didn't read into
Binary.
it because it was a big read.
So they're still more they're still more expensive than the cheapest Arndal sub, but
The
I think it's gonna be affordable for, like, I'm
well,
talking about the 10 inch.
what's the biggest rental? It was like 2500. It's probably like $3,000 now, right? The big one,
Probably, let's
two
see.
12V or something like that.
Yeah. So 17 2S 2V. So that one is, so that one's 3 grand now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's only a double 13 inch, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
But I
got the
mean, that
18
18
inch
inch though,
short.
man, like,
Is it big?
yeah, it's pretty big.
Big.
It's
How big in relation to the D215?
D215 still smokes it. Like, it's
Oh, really?
D215 is way
Okay.
bigger. Like, well, it's a lot taller.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, like, the amps in them are going to be smaller since the D215 is taller, or because they have two subs in them. But I would say it's almost half the size of, like,
Yeah. D215. Wow. Okay.
D215.
Okay.
But the driver, I mean, still pretty big. Let
Nice.
me let me pull up this picture.
Let me answer Joe Weir's here. Joe says another day, another no free Bluetooth speaker.
Hey, y'all didn't give him any love on that video, man.
Yeah, come on, Joe. You didn't even leave one comment on that video. If you want to put a ASAP rush on this speaker, you better leave me a comment on that video.
But yeah, so those Perlisten, because I watched Gene's video today on that, and
Yeah.
same thing, man. Those limited edition speakers, they have a lot more thump. Like, it was when they so Dan, when I first walked in there, he was like, "Hey, come sit down here, in the chair in the main listening position." And he put on some tracks. I don't even remember what the first track what he put on, but I was like, "Man," I'm like, "There's no subs on." He's like, "What subs?" And even my buddy, who's not even into, like, 2 channel, he was like, "Dude, this room is that those speakers sound pretty nice." I don't know what they did to them, but they sound pretty good. I
Interesting.
wonder if they would make a D218.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Nah, that'd be heavy.
Yeah.
I hate heavy. Well, I'm sure I'll be more open to it on the first floor. But
Yeah, I hate heavy stuff too. Well, I mean, I don't have to go up any floors, but, like, trying to get them back into the box, I'm sure it's a nightmare, right?
actually, no, it's not that bad. So there's like a base, and then you tip it over, slide the base
Mm.
underneath, and then you take the top and slide it on top, and then you strap it. So it's not that. It's actually not that bad.
But then,
That's probably the easiest sub, I think, to unbox and then box.
but the
Just moving
storage too
around.
is a pain. Like, keeping a big box like that.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing I don't like is
Yeah.
I just unboxed the RMC one. I'm like, man, I gotta find out stuff for this now, But so how many subs? Which subs would you get out of those 4 new ones?
I'll get a couple 18s, of course. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I feel like I know they're supposed to be like somewhat affordable, but I feel like they should keep within their own little niche of kind of having like an upper mid range and then like the high end. Like
Yeah,
I would feel like maybe not go into the. Sorry, guys. I feel like maybe not go into the affordable realm. Like just stay within a particular, sector.
I would say the 10 inch is going to be the most affordable for, like, if you want to get Perlisten, if you want to dip into Perlisten, that 10 inch is going to be a lot more affordable for, and that's even if they stay at the prices that they said. They could change that. I don't know, but when they told me the price of the 10 inch, I was like, oh, okay. Some people are probably going to still be like, that's too much, but
Yeah.
shame
Yeah.
with the shade. What are the
What-
differences between Perlisten and
this is this
R&L?
this is where the shade comes in right here. It's
Yeah, you're more qualified to answer that question than I am.
it actually, I mean, I've had them both for home theater. I haven't. I really feel like if you're going to judge a speaker and its tonal qualities, you should listen to it in a two-channel setup rather than home theater. Because in home theater, you have like 16 speakers or 19 speakers or whatever going at the same time. You really can't tell the real tonal quality of a speaker with so much going on at the same time. So if you get them two, you get pairs, you pair them up, listen to a couple of things, pair them up, listen to a couple of things. I know people are always like, oh, my tower speakers, they have the same drivers as my surround speakers, which are about a tenth of the size, but the same driver. They're the same driver, so they're timbre matched. They sound the same. I was like, no, they don't sound the same. There's a drastic difference between the two. Just because they have the same driver doesn't mean anything. That cabinet size makes a big difference. So so if I was gonna give my thoughts on Perlisten in the Rendell, I couldn't really say because I didn't use a Rendell in my two-channel setup. I only saw that as a home theater speaker. So at that time, I just used it for home theater. I was just like, oh, like I didn't know. That was like the biggest speaker, like the most expensive home theater speaker I had at that time. I was like, oh shoot, like this is the coolest home theater speaker ever. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the first one to get it. And then I was like, I don't even think these are for music. I'm just gonna do home theater. And then on my journeys, I was like, you know what? I should probably put this on a two-channel music system to actually see what it sounds like, because I don't know what it sounds like in home theater. So I can't really give that, but I think you would be able to because you have a Rendell and you have Perlisten.
Yeah,
Although
I should
although not
hopefully
in
be
your
getting some
space.
Perlisten. Although what?
Although you haven't had Perlisten yet in your space.
No, not yet. So I'm hoping to get some R series. Hopefully. So yeah, I could do a comparison on that. But yeah, two channel, I think that's a good idea because yeah, if you're listening to home theater and you listen to Ready Player One or something, I mean,
Yeah.
all your speakers are firing off at however many SPL levels. Like you're not going to be able to sit there and be like, oh yeah, that and then you can't like what are you going to do? Put like one R series speaker on the right and then a Perlisten like, I mean a Arundel on the left. You got to do two channel with that. So
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten the word from, I guess, the designer himself. I mean, Perlisten would be like the Arundel speaker with, like no budget. Like,
right,
what
yeah.
would you do to make the Arundel speaker better? And then you have the Perlisten. That's the difference. Better drivers, better material, better tweeters. They have the DPC array. Um, yeah, it's just I mean, better. I don't want to be like better looks because I do kind of like the Arundel speakers.
I like the way they both look. They're both different.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're different. I'm back and forth with the Perlisten speakers. Like sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. They just look like a stop sign to me. Because it gets.
That's funny. I never would
Yeah,
have thought of that, but yeah, it does look like a stop sign.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it shows like Dan just shows you what he can do because he also did the monolith. So you've got the monolith, and I haven't personally heard those. A lot of people love them, but I mean, I think there's a big gap between monolith and Arundel. So
Yeah.
I don't know what would be in between that, but I mean, that just goes to show you what he can do with the budget that he has. So you got monolith, and then you've got a big jump with Arundel, and then the Perlisten. So did you see the Christy Griffin? I did not see that this year. So I was trying to find it because I wanted to show my camera guy, but I did see it last year. And have you seen that, Shane? That Christy Griffin projector? It's
I don't
it's
think I've seen
$450,000.
No, I've seen a bunch of barcodes. I don't think I've seen it. If I did, I didn't pay attention.
That thing is, you can't even describe it. It's ridiculous how bright that thing gets and how just it looks like an OLED, but like
But
on steroids times 100.
don't they
for a
use those in
projector.
the Dolby Cinemas? Jared? Maybe Jared knows. Are those the ones they use in Dolby Cinemas? Because I know they like stack them or something like that. I don't know if it's Christie
Man,
or Barco.
it's crazy.
I mean,
Stack. I
that's
can't imagine a stacked Christie Griffin.
so I know
But
one
yeah,
of them you got to have like a big AC, like a big box. It looks like an air conditioning
you have to
to
get
cool them
like a
down.
special. You have to get like a special cooling unit. You have to get like a
Yeah,
special AC. Like you have to do all kinds of stuff for it. And I think you even
yeah.
have to get a permit to,
Oh, yeah.
to to have that in your home.
Okay, so that's an actual cinema projector then.
Yeah.
That ain't for the normies.
No. And it's actually like a turnkey system. Like there's a whole, if you buy that, it comes with all this stuff. Like they come in there, they do all this stuff for you. Like it's part of a package deal. But just a
Yeah,
projector by itself is $450,000.
right, right.
So that's like over
I
three
know.
times my house.
I know when I was in Germany and I saw the Arled cinema, they had the Bar. I think it was the Barco Freya or something like that, Freya Plus.
Okay.
I don't know where that stands in their lineup of projectors, but I mean, I thought that looked pretty damn good. And the cool thing about that, or the strange thing, or maybe it's strange, they were showing all these trailers, and I was just like, oh, I was like, damn. I was like, these are amazing looking trailers. They're like, yeah. And then they put on Top Gun Maverick. I was like, oh man, that's good too. I was like, but I like the other one a little bit better. I was like, what? I was like, these are like native 4K. They're like, no, those ones. I was like, the only 4K one was like Top Gun. He's like, everything else was
SDR?
1080p.
Wow.
I was like, hold on. I was like, everything else. I was like, all this stuff is we're watching is 1080p. He's like, yeah. He goes, these are actually actual DCPs. So these are like digital cinema packages. So what our 4K Blu-rays are based off of, and they get compressed down. That's what you get on your disc. So they have the actual cinema
Mm-hmm.
files that you can get if you get a Barco, and I'm sure a Christie as well. But there's something like a couple $100,000 for a couple days. If you're rich, you can
A
get them.
couple hundred thousand
Yeah,
dollars.
and then like the trailers are like gigs and gigs and gigs big. They're like huge, huge files, but they're basically like uncompressed trailers, and they look just as good as like 4K. I'm thinking to myself, I was like, yo, I was like, have they been duping us for all these years? Like 1080p can actually look this good?
Probably. It's
Yeah,
just so
because
compressed.
it was on a 260 inch screen. I was like, wow. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I was like, this 4K is good. He goes, no, man, it's 1080p. I was like, there's no way it's 1080p. He was like, he goes, no, that's what it looks like when it's DCP. It's uncompressed. He goes, people don't really they can't experience it because it costs a lot of money. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. And then he did the Maverick. I was like, that's not that much different. He goes, yeah, it's really not that much different. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, so he said the Eclipse. Okay, yeah, yeah. So the one I saw was the Eclipse, the Christie, the Griffin. I didn't see that one. I guess that one's less. The Griffin was at Alcon right next to Seymour Grimani. So I didn't see that one.
Griffin doesn't cost that much. Well, how much does it cost, Sammy? Like,
Probably still more than my house.
like 200K. Is that it? What else you got?
Let's see. Let me scrub through my footage. So the Just Video Walls, that was pretty cool. What else? CEDIA 2023.
I know you did some Hisense project USTs.
Yeah, I
Ultra
did
short
that for
throws.
for projectorscreen.com. Leica has a projector, ultra short throw projector. I did that at CES as well. That was
Yeah.
for
Isn't
projector
that a
screen.
it's a rebranded Hisense, right?
I think so, because so at CES they were paired with they had their own booth, but it said Hisense on the booth too. So I guess either they use some of their parts, or because I mean the Leica is going to be more expensive than, and it's like $8,000 for that ultra short throw projector for the Leica. Let's see what else I have here.
8 grand. You say
Yeah,
8 grand?
it's a pretty expensive ultra short throw.
Like a name on there.
Yep. LG, they had their wireless OLED.
Yeah.
I think most people know about that now, and their
Yeah.
Zero Connect box. Um,
Is that a
Sony,
thing? Do people care about that?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a whole lot of hype around it. I mean, it sounds cool, and like they have, it's So the crazy thing is, you know, have like you have your Wi-Fi, your 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz band. They're
Yeah.
using a 60 gigahertz band.
Wow.
Like they actually paid to, I forgot how he said it. They actually paid to basically have exclusive that frequency band because nobody else is using it. So like nobody else can use that band.
Till next
So it's
year,
like
somebody.
licensed,
Till
right?
somebody's like, I'll use 61 hertz. Sony.
It's crazy. And on the Zero Connect box, it has you can aim the antenna towards the TV. So even if your TV, even if your Zero Connect box is like in the back of the room on the side, you can aim the antenna so it'll beam directly at excuse me at the TV. I mean, it's cool technology. The fact that you
Yeah.
can get 4K 120, Dolby Vision, VRR all wirelessly. I mean,
Oh.
that's some serious
Hmm.
technology. Let's see. There was Sony was there. I don't think they had anything really like new. I shot some stuff on their projectors and their uh, projectors and receivers.
You know who's Sammy is a calibrator, if I'm not mistaken. Sammy, how do you like those Sony projectors? I feel like they are grossly overpriced for their performance. And Sammy, do you see banding on Sony projectors? That's what I want to know. I feel like I'm the
Hmm.
only one that ever talks about it.
Let's see. Oh, JVC has a new update, and I think they knocked down the price on one of their projectors.
Oh, I know they had a sale recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is this?
See that? Dude, yes, I see Ben. He's been there for you. I brought that up when I was at Audio Advice to Kayvon, the old muscular guy there. I
Yeah.
was like, dude, I was like, yo, I was like, what's up with your projectors and the banding situation? And I know he knew what I was talking about. He was playing dumb though. I should have like filmed it. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, you don't see the banding in that sky? He goes, oh, you got a good eye, don't you? I was like, what are you talking about? It's right there. I was like, how do you not see that? He
What
goes,
scene
well,
was it?
it was, I don't even know what it was. It was like a movie or something. And, no, it was like a concert or something.
Hmm.
And it was like against the back wall or whatever. And I was like, you don't see that? He goes, well, there's a little give and take with the stuff that we do. He goes, there's a smooth motion, not smooth motion, smooth, whatever it's called, smooth gradation or something like that. I was like, yeah, I know there's a smooth gradation feature on your TVs and your projectors. I was like, did you guys create that because you guys know you guys have banding on your projectors and TVs? He goes, well, there's gotta be some give and take. I was like, okay. So you
Really?
admit? I was like, so you admit it? He goes, you have a good eye. I was like, that GT 380 that's in the monitor audio room, that's like $80,000 or whatever. I was like, there's banding in that too. He goes, well, like I said, you have a good eye. Dude, I was like,
That's funny.
dude, that's unacceptable for like that kind of a
Yeah,
projector.
that
I was
really
like,
is
you can't do
unacceptable.
that.
Yeah, the 5000 ES that I had, and that sucker was like everyone keeps saying that they don't have that issue. That sucker was like ridiculously loud for me.
Yep.
Whenever it ramped up, it got like I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't keep this because I was gonna go with the Epson, and I was like, you know what, Sony, the picture's gonna be better. But man, once I heard that fan, I was like, yo, I I can't do that. But
Yeah. Well, it's any projector you put on high. It's like,
well, the Epson LS 12,000, it's super quiet. Like versus my 5040, my 5040 gets pretty loud on the highest setting, but on the Epson on the highest setting, it's almost barely noticeable. I was actually surprised, but I was like, man, am I the only one? Did I get a limit or something? But I don't
most
know.
pictures. I was watching Barbie last night. I kicked it in like HDR 10 plus or whatever,
Hmm.
and then I was like, "Holy crap!" I was like, "Yo, this movie looks good." "What am I hearing back there?" I was like, "Oh, that's projectors on high," because I usually keep it on medium.
Yeah.
I was like, "Jesus!" I put
Which
it
one
on
do you
medium.
have?
The 8 NZ8.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's like everybody has the NZ8 now. And then I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "I wish I had I had a separate room to put it on high because I would crank that because it looks so good on high." And then, oh no, a question here. You ever notice with that with jitter, you start using reality creation on high frequency content? I never actually. I don't use reality creation. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
that's
didn't use
a
it when I had it.
yeah. I feel like that's like an abnormal sharpening tool.
Yeah,
Sony's
see
are
some. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Sony's are cool. They have few issues, like they lose contrast with a single pixel. Faux contrast is one thing, then send a single pixel and it drops. Only one that doesn't do it is the 380, except for the banding issue. Yeah, listen, you got banding issues. I don't care how expensive you are. I'm not ever gonna buy you.
Yeah, and Jared says 5,000 ES on high sounds like a vacuum. So it's
Yeah.
not just me. So
Oh, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm guessing. My bad. Oh, sorry, Joe Wears. We didn't mean to like crap on Sony. Listen, I there's one thing I do like about the Sony projectors over the JVC is their image is always like cleaner, and I feel it's sharper than the
it
JVC.
is.
Like the lines, the edges, the little everything's just like crisp and clean looking, and then you go to the JVC. I feel like JVCs kind of look OLED like, and then I feel like the Sonys look like an LED, like top quality OLED versus top quality LED. That's like my idea of what those two in comparison look like.
The JVC NZ9 is incredible picture. Like I've seen it twice, and it's probably one of the best home theater projectors that I've seen. Images as far as image wise, like, and then like just deep blacks and the colors on that thing is just insane.
Yeah, yeah, I like Sony when because they have like a fan slider. You can just slide it from like 1 to like 100 or whatever. Whereas JVC is just like low, medium, high.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool that Sony actually has like a slider. I forgot that they had that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that yeah, that banding bothers me. I see it all the time too.
it's crazy.
Yeah, because I had the 390. I don't even know the model numbers. 395. And I had like I think the 5,000, and then like the 7,000. It was good. Yeah, it's just that banding bugged me.
Yeah, banning is not good. It's weird that they won't address that if everybody knows it's there.
I don't know if anybody knows it's there.
Really? That's
I'm
interesting.
not even sure because nobody talks about it. Nobody ever says anything about it.
Maybe they're just Sony fanboys and they don't want to admit it.
I feel bad because there were some Blu-ray players that I reviewed in the past, and I
Hmm.
had a Sony 695. At the time, it was like 15 grand, maybe like 15 or 18 grand. And I was like, oh, there's banding in this Blu-ray player. So, and then years later, a couple years later, I got a JVC. I was like, there's no banding in this movie.
Interesting.
I was like, is it the Sony? And then I finally got another Sony, and I was like, it's the Sony. I was like,
Huh.
Sony projectors will have banding. It was in that movie Sully with Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a part where it's like a purple sky. He's running in the park or something like that, in Central Park, and then like I could see banding in that sky there, or in the JVC I couldn't. I was like, oh my god! I was like, wow! I was like, this is not a Blu-ray player issue. This is actually a projector issue. So
Interesting.
all the views I got on that Blu-ray player, sorry LG. I'm sure many people did not buy your player because of me.
That's why I stick with my Oppo.
Hon- Honestly, listen, I'm not the only one, Joe. Sammy sees these. He calibrates these all the time. I've seen multiple Sonys, even at Value Electronics. I've seen multiples. I even had to show Robert. He was like, "No, no, no, there's no bending." I was like, "Robert, put Spears and Munson on." No, oh, it's like, all right,
That's crazy.
yeah. Anything else before we log off? Because I know you got to log off.
I think that's it, man. I didn't get to see all the stuff that I wanted to see, but like I said, I had appointments and stuff, and but I think that's everything that I saw. Again, the coolest thing that I saw was for me was the Perlisten and those subs. Like I'm really excited about that. And the row one seats were really nice too. Like those are some
Yeah.
really really nice seats. I'm impressed. Color me impressed. But yeah, I think I'm trying to scrub through my footage. I think that's it. I mean, Kaleidescape. I mean, everybody knows about Kaleidescape.
Yeah.
So
It's dude. You know how weird is it that they're like, Kaleidescape has won another award for best of show or whatever, because you got an SSD in your. This has been the fucking same thing for like a decade now. It's like, wow, you gave us a faster hard drive. It's the same software. It's the same. It's the same service. It's the same form factor. How do you win in all these awards?
oh man,
They must be giving away terror servers to all these fucking. I mean, I say, come on, man. Give me a new UI. I would like a new UI, for one. That's really all I really want. Just give me just a new UI. I mean, I like the UI, but I've seen it for years and years and years, and for like 20 years now. It's been the same. Give us a new UI.
I guess if they're like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know.
I guess. Joe Weirs says, what scene? There is a. Actually, there's a lot of scenes in it. Just anything during the day with a sky. You should be able to see it. And like I said, Sully, when he's running in Central Park, you can see it there. It's like a purplish sky. I'm pretty sure you've got Sully on iTunes or something.
I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Yeah.
I have
So
it.
check that out. I mean, I've only seen it on Sony projectors. I've never seen it on anything else. I mean, I've got a couple Benny Qs and something else here, but I'll double check that. But those are DLPs though, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So definitely check that out. Here we go. Sammy's got a thing. Joe, start the montage when it's almost fully faded in. You can see it there. Anything with a gradient: oranges, reds, blues, purples.
Talking about the Sony.
Dude, I feel so bad. I shouldn't have brought this up because I don't like being like. Because I feel like Joe probably really loves this projector. Listen, everything's got a little shortcoming to it, okay? That, for me, just happens to be for the Sony stuff. For the JVC, it happens to be the Sony looks it looks sharper. Only because I know. I think if you've never seen a Sony projector, you've only known JVC, you probably wouldn't know how good of how much of a sharp image you could get with a Sony picture. From me. Maybe Sammy thinks differently. Maybe other people think differently. But I think Sony does have a sharper picture and a cleaner picture, which I do appreciate. I think the JVC pictures do look a little bit noisier. I think that's the JVC crux, I guess you can say,
That they look noisier.
compared to Sony. I think, yeah.
So the one that I had too, I didn't have it for very long. I think the Sony can get a little bit noisy too sometimes. But
Well, you're doing it wrong then.
I mean, it looks better than the picture looks better than the Epson. Obviously, sharper picture. The blacks are better. But man, the Epson just gets so bright, and I just think that, for me and my use case, I was like, I think I'm just gonna go with the Epson because you get more. I mean, you don't have 3D, and a lot of people still are gonna say, 3D. I believe this 5000 ES didn't have 3D. So someone at a rep, because I shot a video with it, and I asked him about that. I was like, yeah, the 5000 doesn't do 3D, but the Step Up does. And he was like, well, the 5000 does actually have the capability to do 3D, but I forgot what he said, and I was like, oh, really?
You need a piece for it.
Right? Yeah. That's what he said. So like, why would they do that?
Did he recommend you to my video? Because I'm the only one that did a video on it.
No, he didn't.
I feel like I get no respect in this space. Okay, I get no respect.
It's funny.
I had a question for Sammy. I totally lost my train of thought here. Okay, this happens when we don't sleep for 24 to 48 hours. Damn, I had a good question too. I'll have to come back. To that. Oh, Sammy is a calibrator. Sammy, is it a good idea to use an ALR screen in a home theater? If it's a dedicated home theater, should you be using an ALR screen? Light controlled room, should you use an ALR screen? I don't know if Joe is using an ALR screen in a dedicated light controlled room, but I just want to know for myself. I think no. I think you should probably go with like a 1.0 gain screen, like a white screen. That's my idea of thinking. Like it should be like 1-to-1, pop, pop, bounce it back to you instead of a plus or negative. But I would like to know what Sammy Prescott thinks about that.
Aren't those best for ultra short throws anyway?
Oh, see that? I feel like fucking vindicated, man. Finally, get some fucking respect here. I wouldn't personally. I would use white. Isn't that what I just said? I would use white. Now, Joe Wires. I'm not sure if Joe has a dedicated room or not, but I'm not trying to throw shade or anything because if you do, I just wanted to know for sure, just to get good information out there. If you are in a light controlled room, that you should use a white screen, like a nice clean white screen. Seymour, Stewart, whoever, nice white. I agree. Yes, light controlled room, but I really have to have lights on a ton of the time for my kids. Oh, there you go. He's got some kitties. So that sounds like a family room environment with a big screen. Okay. So just let's throw that out there. Now we have a couple things that you guys take away from today's live stream. We've got these line array speakers with the Acoustics. We have Perlisten's got a new line of subs that could be affordable. Jordan's not going to tell us the price.
Sorry, guys.
We know we got the shortcomings on Sony and JVC projectors. One's clean, one's a little noisy, one's got banding, one doesn't, one has better HDR, one doesn't. We have ALR screens. Should you use it in a light controlled room? What looks better? White looks better for the best representation of your films and cinema movies in your dedicated home theater space. Or if you have kids, maybe go with an ALR screen. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Make sure you subscribe to Jordan at Haterade Cowboy. We'll get into his name in a future episode. Do you have anything coming up, Jordan, that you want to share with the people before we sign off?
Yes, I'll be posting videos probably once a day from Cydia, but I am almost finished editing a 7.5.4.
Hold on. Before we sign off, we just have to touch on this one subject before we sign off. Did you see Barbie?
I have not seen Barbie.
You didn't see Trinoff. You didn't see. You didn't see Barbie.
I did not see Barbie.
Okay, well, let me just touch on it for like 2 minutes. Guys, I know some of you guys, maybe you do watch the 4K reviews that I do. Maybe you're just here for the hardware. I did the Barbie review. Okay? Some of the guys there, I don't know if you are one of them that's live in the chat. These are movies, it's entertainment. I don't know if there's any political agendas behind them, but it's like you like a movie or you don't like a movie. There's no need to attack people. There's no need for name calling. I personally enjoyed the movie. There was a couple scenes in the movie that I felt a little, you're trying to preach a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the movie, I felt Ken was vindicated. Ken got his revenge. Taught Barbie a lesson. I don't think a lot of guys saw it that way. Jordan, I feel like you're gonna have to see this movie.
Yeah, I'll watch it eventually.
You will have to see it.
My friends saw it and they enjoyed it, but I was just like, I'm not going into the theaters to see that. I don't care.
You should always go into if you're gonna go see a movie, always go in without any preconceived notions of what the movie's going to be about. Don't listen to social media and blah 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 blah. People like me, people like Jordan, just go see it. You don't know if you're gonna like it or not. Just go see it. Don't let outside forces persuade your perception of what could be a fantastic movie. I mean, let's face it, it is $1.5 billion movie, so it must be pretty damn good. I mean, must have resonated with a lot of people. So I did the review. No need to be nasty about it, 'cause I didn't talk about whether or not I liked it like I am with you guys. We're just talking about picture and video quality. I don't know how I get so much hate just because I talk about picture and video quality, but I do. It's so weird. But that's my take on Barbie and just movies in general. Please, if you're on this channel, clearly you like home theater. Clearly you like nice speakers and amplifiers and projectors. Clearly you wouldn't have that stuff if you didn't like movies. So if you're gonna go see a movie, stop letting outside forces persuade your viewing enjoyment, because there might be something that you like that you're missing out on. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of good content out there. People just listen. If you're on my side, you would see all the hatred and stuff that comes my way. And
It's pretty
Jordan,
crazy.
you get it too. It's insane, man. It's insane. Well, okay. Wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, Jordan. What were you saying before?
Yeah, so I'm finishing editing my first Perlisten home theater, or my first home theater tour, 7.5.4 Perlisten with storm audio processing, Kaleidescape, what else? Oh, Arndal speakers in there, JVC NZ9. So I'm excited about that. So hopefully, I'm just waiting on some footage that I shot with Matt Trinklin at CEDIA. Once I get that, I can put that into the video, edit it, export it, and then it should be up on the channel hopefully in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited for you guys to see it.
That sounds great, Jordan. Make sure you guys subscribe to Haterade Cowboy on YouTube.
Thank you.
Join our
Appreciate it.
Patreon channels. I have a Patreon, and so does Jordan. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will see you again.